So today I'm take a look at Superboy and the Legion of Superheroes Volume 2. So I jumped right into this right after reading Volume 1, and I gotta say, I enjoyed this one quite a bit more than Volume 1 actually, and I'll talk about that in a bit, but first let's take a look at the build of the book. So again, same treatment of the typography, the nice slant, the same font. This is an image from, can't remember, is it 250? Well, we'll take a look at that later. Here's the spine of the book and the back of the dust jacket. We've got on the inside another shot of Superboy, just like in the first volume, and on the back, creator biographies. So this is mostly written by Paul Levitz and Jerry Conway, and Joe Stanton, or Stanton, I'm not sure how to say his name. He does the majority of the artwork in this volume. Underneath the dust jacket, we have kind of the same thing that they did with the first volume. Let's put that there. We've got the same image from the dust jacket, just blown up. So, and it wraps around to the back. I don't know, it's colorful, it's fun, looks pretty nice. I wish they, like I said in the first volume, I wish they had chosen some different art to wrap around the cover, but that's okay. It's still a very, very nice and fun looking design. In terms of paper quality, it's the same stock of paper. It's like that 100% matte, high quality matte paper, basically. And like I said, I really love matte paper for these sorts of reprints, especially for material that was printed originally on newsprint. I think it looks best when you get just like a high-grade matte paper instead of doing it on glossy. And binding is the same. It's 100% glued, no flex in the spine at all, but again, not a very thick book, and being Bronze Age material, not a lot of two-page spreads, and so didn't really bother me that much, or at all really. So let's check out the content of this book. This volume collects Superboy and the Legion of Superheroes 241 to 258, Legion of Superheroes 259, and DC Comics presents 13 to 14. So it's quite a bit of content. It's actually more than the first volume. We just compare the size. The first one here, significantly bigger, but same price point. So you get better value for your money in volume 2. And I gotta say, volume 2, the stories are overall superior to volume 1. Volume 1, it's fun to read, but really only about 3 or 4 of those stories stood out for me as being really excellent stories. The rest of them were just kind of inconsequential. This one, it's the other way around. There's maybe only a handful of clunky stories in this one, and a lot of that has to do with the quality of the stories. A lot of it has to do with the fact that this covers the entire Earth War saga, which is about a third of this book and spans 5 issues. And that's written by Paul Levitz, and it could be like his first serious multi-part epic in Legion of Superheroes. I'm not too sure because I'm new to this team and these characters. But Earth War was great. It involves all of the Legionnaires. They split off into groups, and each of them is like assigned a mission or a crisis that they have to attend to, and this takes them all over the galaxy. So some of them are just out in space tracking down a mystery. Some of them are on an artificial planet where they are serving as bodyguards for a intergalactic diplomatic mission, and some of them are still on Earth. And with all this happening, there's conspiracy, there's invasion. Yeah, Earth War is a lot of fun, and I really enjoyed it. And the artwork is really beautiful too. The first part of Earth War is drawn by James Sherman and Arvil Jones, and then the second half of it is taken over by Joe Stanton, and he basically draws the rest of this book. So, yep, that's Earth War. I'm going to try and skip ahead, and yeah, here's this beautiful Joe Stanton artwork here. I'll talk about his artwork in a bit. Just want to cover the content, the stories that you'll see in this book. So we'll skip ahead because I don't want to spoil the ending of Earth War. Yeah, but yeah, it's a lot of fun. You can see how now they're in space. There's a lot of action in Earth War. It's good fun. And then we get a few stories that are kind of, like I said, inconsequential. They really serve as filler, is how I interpreted them. A couple of them are from Len Wein, and this is about this one takes place on Mercury. And we get another story. Let's see. Yeah, another one by Len Wein, where you get a couple characters from the Fatal Five making an appearance. Then we get to, let's see. There's a leadership election that takes place, and this is a quick one written by Paul Levitz, with art by Joe Stanton and David Hunt as the inker. And then we get another one here, which is by Jerry Conway. So, this one, it's okay. It's about, some creature lurking in the sewers and how they're going to stop it. After that, we pick up the pace again, and we get to this story, which kicks us off. It's about a traitor in the Legionnaires. They've got a turncoat in their midst. They don't know who it is. They're trying to figure it out. And it's about how they confront this traitor and deal with the ramifications of this traitor's, this person's scheming and machinations. And the ramifications from this story kind of echo down through the rest of the series, and it's a lot of fun. I really enjoyed this one. And we'll try not to spoil the ending there. Right, after that we get a story about the League of Super Assassins. These are the first time we're seeing these characters, I think. The League of Super Assassins, they're basically a group of individuals who feel they've been wronged in one way or another by certain members of the Legion of Superheroes. So they start going after them and taking them down one by one. And a weird thing happens here with how this book is collected. The first part of the story ends on a cliffhanger, and then we jump to DC Comics Presents. And it's a completely different story. I don't know why they did this. Maybe that's just chronologically how they came out, and that's how they decided to collect it. But it's just a weird way to assemble these stories. But DC Comics Presents. This one, I loved the story. This was great. This one's all written by Paul Levitz. It's got art by Dick Dillon. It's one of the great Justice League artists. He did a lot of the Bronze Age Justice League. And as you can see here, it's got Superman, and it's got Superboy, and of course the Legion of Superheroes. So obviously that means time travel. And this was a really great story. A lot of action. It's got that time travel science fiction spin to it. And also there's it's almost like a morality play. You remember that episode of, okay, I'm going to nerd out here. You remember that episode of Star Trek, original Star Trek, where they meet the Guardian at the Edge of Forever, and Kirk goes back in time. Kirk and Spock get sent back in time to 1930s or 1940s Earth during World War II. And basically the question, the dilemma that's proposed is, if you had a chance to change something awful that happened in the past, but this horrible event, this horrible thing that happens, eventually leads to incredible positive outcomes and consequences, like way down the line, what would you do? And that's what this story is about. And it's a wonderful story. I really enjoyed it. Then after that, we pick up where we left off with the League of Super Assassins story. So Superboy goes looking for help because he's seen a lot of his comrades taken down by the League of Super Assassins. And this was pretty fun. It was okay. Then we got, Cosmic Boy in his weird costume. Then we've got another time travel story. Going back for Legion of Superheroes, going back to pick up Superboy, because there's someone's causing problems in the time stream. And then we get, it's just like a Brainiac 5 story. And I'm trying to remember what some of these are about. These are kind of like, not a lot of stuff happens in these ones. They just kind of connect the subplots that have been happening in the previous issues. There's a neat little story here by Steve Ditko. It's a short one, but pretty cool to see some Steve Ditko. And then we get the introduction of the Psycho Warrior, who obviously attacks the Legion and, causes problems. And then after that, after this issue, let's get back to the cover here. Yeah, starting with this issue, the series changes from Superboy and the Legion of Superheroes to just Legion of Superheroes. So this is the last issue where Superboy appears or is a member of this team. And the way they handle this, the way they basically get rid of Superboy from the team is, I thought it was pretty cool. I really thought it was a neat thing that they did, and just a real great way to end an era of Legion of Superheroes. And it really did feel like an end of an era. And I'm new to these guys. I don't know Legion of Superheroes very well. This is, like I said in my last video with Volume 1, that was the first Legion of Superheroes stuff I've ever read, and continuing on with this, and I've kind of developed an affinity for these characters and this team, and seeing this issue basically be a turning point for the team. Yeah, it does feel like an end of an era, and I'm really enjoying these stories. So I'm definitely going to move on to the next one as soon as I get a chance, and I think that's the Before the Darkness or Coming of the Darkness, Volume 1. So yeah, and then we got the extras, which it's not much. It's just like in Volume 1, a lot of script notes, plot synopses, basically stuff from Paul Levitz's typewriter. And that's it for the stories. Art-wise, we've got, like I said, Joe Stanton does majority of the artwork here, and I really like it. It's so in my video of Volume 1, I talked a lot about how DC in the Bronze Age seemed to have like a house style that is very reminiscent of Neil Adams. Like, it seems like they based it off of Neil Adams's artwork and his style. And you see that kind of like the way certain artists, or the pretty popular artists, would draw faces and figures, the way they posed them, the kind of camera angles they used. Guys like Joe Pero, Jose Garcia Lopez, even Marshall Rogers, obviously Mike Grell in the previous volume. Even James Sherman has just a little hints of that, especially the way they compose their panels too. Joe Stanton is completely different though. His style is a lot more reminiscent of Silver Age DC, where it's just the artwork is cleaner. And yeah, there's a page here where it just like the artwork really stood out for me. Let's see. Yeah, this one. It just the artwork is cleaner, it's simpler, there's less rendering and hatching, cross hatching, I mean. And the faces are more, I don't want to say cartoony, but probably more caricaturized, so less realistic. But I dig it. I really like it. I'm a fan of that kind of art, which is why I do have an affinity for Silver Age DC. And what's also really interesting is Joe Stanton, he gets almost a different inker in every issue for a little while. And like in this one, he's inked by Jack Abel. So you can see the line work is very fine, and there's some variation in line weight. But then they get a new inker, David Hunt, who goes over Joe Stanton's pencils, and the line work it's a lot thicker, it's more bold, and actually reminded me of Mike Allred's art. And it kind of, like the way David Hunt inks Joe Stanton's artwork, at least in this story, it kind of flattens the artwork out and creates this, I don't know, like a pop style. I don't know how to describe it, but it does remind me a lot of like Mike Allred, like the way the faces are rendered. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Or even here, where obviously there's foreshortening going on, but the way it's inked, it just feels flat. I really like that face. And then the second part of this story, we go back to Jack Abel as the inker. So you see the line work is a lot more elegant. It's more finesse in it. And so then the artwork feels, I don't know, lighter in a way. Anyway, I'm an art nerd, so I like looking at this stuff and just studying the differences. It's cool because you get to really see how an inker changes the personality of a penciler's drawings. So pretty neat stuff. That's it basically for Superboy and Legion of Superheroes Volume 2. I'm really enjoying this stuff. I'm looking forward to getting the next hardcover of Legion of Superheroes now. No Superboy in that one. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please feel free to hit the like or subscribe button, and take care. I hope you have a great day, and as always, happy reading, my friends. I'll talk to you later.